Hello internet, it's me, Epiphany, back with another video. I'm having such a blast doing this. This is my son's first full day at preschool and I don't have work today, so I'm just sitting here in the Redwoods Park, jumping into this new thing that I've been waiting on and hoping for and thinking about and pondering, and finally it's here, and finally I'm making videos, and I'm just having so much fun. So I hope whoever might be watching is having fun too. I hope that you might feel inspired to try the thing you've been putting off doing, especially if it's something that you feel like you would be having fun with if you could just work up the nerve to do it. Because I've been sitting here for the last hour or so and I just feel amazing. The creativity is flowing. The ideas are coming. Everything just feels like just so easy and so natural, and that's so funny too, because so many times, I tell my son this all the time is, the only hard part is the crying. Sometimes we work things up in our mind that this is going to be so hard, this is going to be so difficult, or the worst part is the fear around validation. People aren't going to like what I do, and I'm going to sound silly in the video, and I'm not looking in the right place every single time. But just do it. Just do it and have fun with it. That's what I'm doing. That's what I feel. And so if you needed to hear that message too, there it is. So I'm working with the Little Witch's Oracle deck. I've just been pulling one card at a time and just sort of talking about whatever comes to mind. I'm not overthinking. I'm clearing my channel. I'm clearing my heart. And I'm allowing inspiring messages to come through. Hopefully for whoever's tuning in, you will feel that. And yeah, let's get started. As always, follow your intuition. Take the messages that resonate for you and that don't force anything to fit in your life. Okay, I've got two cards that came out together here. So I'm just going to take a minute to look at them. So first I have the wolf. Ow! I've been doing that randomly, actually, for the last couple of days. Thinking about wolves, dogs, mostly wolves, and just that random urge to howl. Ow! Howl at the moon. This is a very pink looking moon. Actually, we just had a full moon, I guess about a week ago now, the flower moon in Scorpio, which has been very intense. Hopefully I'm not the only one that's been feeling that. I don't have necessarily expertise in astrology at this time. It's something that I'm interested in, that it always just makes you think. For a long time I thought of myself as a rational, logical person, and it didn't make sense to me. But sometimes sometimes when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, it's amore. Sometimes it just hits you in the face, and it makes too much sense to ignore. So if someone's been thinking about looking into astrology, do it. Start with your birth chart. It's very fascinating. Isabel Hickey, I think, is the leading name on that. So look into her book. There's a lot of really great stuff on YouTube as well, that keeps you updated with what's going on in the heavens and the stars. And it's just always an interesting thing to think about. What if it's more than just a big floating rock? What if the wolves are howling because they know something that we don't know? I'm also noticing the forest that's here around the wolf. I'm sitting in a forest. You can probably see it. Oh, hide that lady there. You can probably see it behind me. I'm in New Zealand, so in the southern hemisphere we are getting into the autumn and the winter season. So this tree here is looking very bare. And the plants around the bottom have a fern-like look, and fern is actually, I think, the national one of the national symbols of New Zealand. And I see ferns. There's some in the back there, and there's some in the front here, and Although there are no wolves in New Zealand, there are no natural predators. I think originally there was only birds on the island, and now there's been some invasive species. Possums, rats are pretty bad. That's just a little bit of a tangent, but from Canada originally, and we definitely have wolves out there. So it's interesting too, because when you move across the world, which people do, I know people do, I'm not unique for that, but when you move across the world, it's weird. It takes time to adjust. Not just the accent, you know, I have an accent here, which is funny to me. But you still feel, for a while at least, you still feel like you have one foot in either realm. And and that's how a wolf, you know, I'm getting a werewolf. You know, you're half of something and you're half of something else. You're 1 foot here and you're 1 foot over there. And when the moon comes out, you know, it shines the light on those aspects, and it makes you think about a lot of things. I also see the little toadstool here in the bottom. Toadstools have kind of been, it's not focusing, have kind of been a little theme for me. The classic, you know, the red cap with the white spots on it. They actually do have those types of mushrooms here in the bush, and my son and I like to go out and we look for mushrooms. And fairies and gnomes and wee little froggies are all the types of things that you might expect to see under a toadstool like this. So this is giving me yeah, a bridge between the obvious, which is the wolf in the woods, but also a layer of something magical. And that brings me to the next card here, which is the rainbow. And it's a double rainbow. It's a double rainbow. For anyone who knows that, it's a double rainbow. And we have a bear here, and she's looking off into the distance as well. She and I say she, I assume the bear is a female, I suppose. And she and the wolf are both looking in the same direction. But we have contrast here again. We have daytime and nighttime. We have the lushness of the green and the, you know, the barren trees in this one. We have a cloudless sky with a bright moon, and here we have clouds. And the two rainbows, and rainbows only form when there's been rain. So the double rainbow too reminds me of my son. I brought him up a couple of times, and it's this feeling of, you know, the one arch that shelters and protects over the other. The grassy fields. Yeah. What I'm getting from this is just that sense, you know, the rainbow bridge. Some people use that to speak about the beyond, you know. So maybe someone has lost a loved one recently, or has been thinking of a loved one who has passed, and there's a message maybe from someone on the other side. Let me just feel into that for a minute and see. It's all good. It's all good here, and it's all good there. And just like a toadstool that might attract a fairy, which might be something, again, mundane but yet magical, so is a rainbow. It's light and it's color that is always there, but isn't always visible. So I'm feeling like that's the message coming through from beyond, is that whether it's a past loved one, even a past pet, because animals can be spirit guides as well, or whether it's, you know, the angels or the fairies or some other being from a different dimension. I think the message that's coming through here is that it's always there. It's always there, even if you can't see it. And just to feel the magic of that, to really step into the magic of that. Where can you find magic in your regular life? And yes, this is the witch's oracle, but I don't think of myself as a witch, you know, in terms of the cliche sense. I don't have a grimoire. I don't cast spells other than, you know, poems or songs or setting my intention. But there is magic all around us. When you see the seasons change, when you see the weather change, when you see a child or a young animal or creature grow from young to old, these are all magic in the sense that it's not something that can fully ever be understood or explained. And even if you think you can conceptualize, of course, humans start as little babies and then they grow up to adults. But until I had my own son, I didn't fully realize how magical that process is, and how wise children are when they come here, and how, some people believe that they, like animals, come with an innate connection to things that we can't see, whether that's a sixth sense about something, or memories of past lives, some people say, or connections to the spiritual realm, or just that youthful heart and that willingness to believe in magic, in fairies, in love. And in order to, how do I put this? In order to really find joy in this world, I think it's just so important to find ways to connect back with that spirit of the child, or the spirit of the natural world, that just forces you to believe in magic again. Whether it's the magic of pixie dust, or the magic of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or just the magic of how rays of sun refract through a droplet of water and light up the sky with color. I also saw, this is coming to mind now, I saw a sign. There's a school I drive by every day, and they put up the billboard with the motivational little phrases, and today it was changed, and it said, "Try to be the rainbow in someone's cloud." And I think that's just such a beautiful message, especially to guide children with that type of messaging, is that everyone has cloudy days, and rain is necessary. Sometimes it needs to rain because the earth needs that. Sometimes we need to cry because our bodies need that, to purge and to release and to heal and to make space for the new. Sometimes we feel happy and sometimes we feel sad, and both are fine. Both are normal and both are okay. But when we are choosing how we show up in the world, we can choose to be the light in someone's life, or the rainbow, or the smile on their face, or that they need to see on another's face. There's almost the union of two paths too, I'm seeing here, again, with the night and the day, the dark and the light. Yeah. When I channel, just in case it isn't clear, I don't always have a question that I'm asking, and I don't always have a point that I'm trying to make, and that's important, I think, for someone to hear too, is that sometimes you just howl at the moon. You just say what is on your heart. Sometimes you just look at the rainbow. Not every moment needs to be solving a problem or answering a question. Sometimes just taking the time and peace to sit and look around and see what thoughts come to your mind and pass through it. All of this expands your neural pathways in your brain. You're making connections in your mind, and you're finding meaning in things that might have seemed random otherwise, but once you connect those dots, now there's meaning. And yeah, so if anyone's feeling called to meditation and they're not sure where to start, that's one thing that I really love about these types of cards, the oracle cards, is that you don't have to believe in any religion, any spiritual practice or anything. You can just use them as flashcards to kind of jog your mind and to get yourself thinking in ways that, or about things that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise. So maybe that's a message for someone too, is it doesn't have to be tarot cards. It can be, sometimes I cut pictures out of magazines and I just shuffle them up and I look at them, and you can do this with anything. Just look around you and see what comes to your mind and what comes to your heart. It's a very healing practice. It's very meditative, and just keeps your mind working. So I think I'll leave it there for now. If if this resonated with you in any way, or if it caused you to think about something, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what you can't see. Don't be afraid of what you feel, even if you can't see it. And don't be afraid to howl at the moon sometimes, literally or figuratively. And honestly, it's fun. Let's just do it. Ow! All right, I'll see you in the next one.